This is the Conservative Czar, August 29th, 2012. Just want to give you some observation of the first night of the Republican convention and what came to mind, kind of a potpourri of different thoughts that came across. The first one was, and I've talked to other people about this, and they almost all start off the same way. When I ask them, what's your observation? And they said, gee, it was as boring as you could possibly get. Boring, boring, boring. That's my first observation. Speaker after speaker, even good speakers. It was just boring. Who are these people? They're running this thing. Even commentators from the Romney camp are boring. Ann Romney is boring. It was a boring, boring night. And what it harkens, your immediate thought goes back to 2008 when we had a little bit of a boring convention, and all of a sudden the bright light of Sarah Palin comes onto the scene, and she exploded. And politics is, for a couple, 3 years, hasn't been the same. The old Sarah Palin, not the new Sarah Palin. The new Sarah Palin's been beat up a little bit and is off her game, and I have no problem with that. But the old Sarah Palin, man, she could run circles around these guys. There's not one that could hold a candle to her. She has delivered speech after speech after speech after speech after speech, which are important, better by a factor of 5, anything we have seen so far. This convention, you compare it to the last convention, and the thing that's missing is the old Sarah Palin. All the things that she brought to the bear, and that's what this convention needs. It's not going to get it. And the worst part about this boringness that we're seeing is the most boring part of this thing will come on Friday when Romney himself talks. And then we're going to really say, I will say this. I mean, the expectations cannot be lower for Romney. They're just as low as dirt low. But I predict that he will meet those expectations or even do worse for an acceptance speech. But this is boring, and I don't think it's going to improve. The second thing I think that we need to talk about, or my observation is, hey, this is the Republican Party of the future that we're looking at, and it is a party of moderates, moderates, moderates. They control the party. Romney is a moderate. Christie's a moderate. One after another, when they show up, Kelly Ayotte, senator from Maine, moderate. They trot out Republican senator or governor Nikki Haley, moderate. Tea Party supported both of these people to their chagrin, okay? But they're moderates. It's all over this place. This is the modern Republican Party. We used to have a name for these people. We used to call them rhinos, Republican in name only. There's only one trouble. We can't call them that anymore because they are the Republican Party. They are the Republicans. There's no such thing as a rhino anymore. It's all Republicans. And that's what Republican stands for today. Mitt Romney, Chris Christie, people like that. Third observation I make is that the news coverage from the mainstream media is just atrocious. It is more liberal than it has ever been. 30 years ago, they would not have the guts to do what they're doing today. ABC trots out George Stephanopoulos, a Democrat operative. He worked for the Democratic Party for years. They give him this plush job as an anchor, and he's no good at that. He doesn't have the persona to be an anchor, but because he's a left-winger and he's a Democrat, they're going to give him the job, and they're going to give him the job to report on the Republican convention. A disgrace. NBC trots out Williams and all the MSNBC crew. Disgraceful. But the worst, in my opinion, the worst is CBS. When they trot out Charlie Rose and Norah O'Donnell. Now, Charlie Rose is an old-time left-wing liberal. He's been fighting conservatives for 30 years. And he's been given the anchor job at CBS Evening News. And again, that's terrible. But he's there reporting with the new Vita of the left-wing media, Nora O'Donnell. And you watch these two people interview. They hate the conservatives. They just have disdain for them. They ask these questions, these targeted questions. It is just disgusting. We have just got to give up and not pay any attention, not turn on ABC or not turn on NBC and not turn on CBS until they at least balance it somewhat. This is the worst. I say this every year, probably every 4 years, but this is the worst. I have never seen anything as bad. You carry that on to CNN, which is disgusting. You have Judy Woodruff and Eiffel, two left-wingers on PBS. You know, that's a taxpayer-paid group that we're paying for. Left-wingers, left-wingers, left-wingers. It's disgusting. It's more disgusting now than it has ever been. Fourth observation I have is, should bring solace to some of us, to some people. And that is, I don't think there's any way Mitt Romney is going to be president of the United States. I think Barack Obama is going to get reelected. And all I hope is that we remember how bad this convention is, how they've taken over the party, and we do not let them run this party as soon as that defeat is registered. And it's going to be registered. This is the Conservative Czar. See you next time.